Council, come to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mandy, would you please call the roll?
Banstra.
Here.
Butler.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Van Strylen.
Here.
Vanderhorst and Carlson are absent.
City Council has adopted a code of civility. As elected officials, we pledge to promote civility through extending respect to others, listening to understand, disagreeing without disrespect, engaging collaboratively, and speaking up to address incivility. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast for Pella TV, so anyone who speaks to council, please approach the podium and the microphone over there before speaking so that those listening at home can hear your comments and see you on the camera. May I get a motion for approval of the tentative agenda?
So moved. Support.
Van Strylen, Hopkins, any discussion? All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Banstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Ann Visser to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Ann was originally appointed in 2020, attended the one meeting that was held. If approved, Ann's new term would expire on August 1, 2027. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Banstra, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Banstra.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Lyle Vandermeiden to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Lyle was originally appointed in 2020 and attended the one meeting that was held. If approved, Lyle's new term would expire on August 1 of 2030. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Van Strylen, Hopkins, any discussion? All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Banstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Merlin Rolfs to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Merlin was originally appointed in 2020, attended the one meeting that was held. If approved, Merlin's new term would expire on August 1, 2031. This position would be one of two Marion County members, and the Board of Supervisors have approved this reappointment. Can I get a motion for approval?
So support.
Hopkins, Van Strylen, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Banstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Susan Ryder to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Susan was originally appointed in 2020 and attended the one meeting that was held. If approved, Susan's new term would expire on August 1, 2029. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Manstra, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Banstra.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to appoint Dennis Fogel to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Dennis is interested in the future of aviation in Marion County, having been a private pilot for over 15 years. If approved, Dennis's term would expire on August 1, 2028. This position would be one of two Marion County members, and the Board of Supervisors has approved this reappointment. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Hopkins, Banstra, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Banstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Motion passed. This time we have opportunity for public forum. Anyone wishing to address council regarding any agenda items, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on. Can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So support.
Van Strylen, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Banstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. This time, Spirit of Pella is going to fill us in on some information about projects that are going on in 2026. And Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
We're going to turn it over to Spirit of Pella. I know it's dark over there, but that appears to be Eric Sickler over there that's going to lead us, give us some information.
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'll take 5 minutes and no more, so rest easy. I'm not here to complain, I'm not here to ask for anything. I'm here to, first of all, thank you all, the City Council, the City of Pella, the residents of Pella, the Community Services Department, Heidi, Mandy, all of everybody have been such great partners to Spirit of Pella since we were founded 5-6 years ago. In that time, this community has generously donated over $1 million to do a bunch of really exciting things that we've done, as you can see on the screen behind me. I want to give you a quick update. I'm going to give you a handout at the end so you don't need to take a single note. I want to first of all point out, we do have a couple board members here tonight. Christy Vandervoort is our president. Bob Zylstra is also on the board, and I think that's it. We also have on our board Karen Cashin, Gene Williamson, Brady Dieleman, Stuart Miller, Paul Jones, Aaron Smith, Kendra Van Wyk, Terry Voss, Bob Zylstra again, and Lisa Zylstra. So we're well represented. We've got a great board. They're very active, and it's very much an engaged working board. We have had on our website since we started a survey that we continue to collect data from the community, and we drive people there all the time at www.spiritpella.org. You can contribute what you'd like to see happen in this community, and we use that to kind of guide us, and we share that information with lots of organizations across town. 3 times a year, we gather a lot of those organizations together in something we call Elevate Pella. It's designed to be a sharing session, information sharing, and also a time to celebrate our dreams and see where we can collaborate together. And that we started 3 or 4 years ago. It has been really productive and fruitful in encouraging groups within the town not to talk about each other, but to talk with each other about getting things done. It's been great. The Klomp and Heart, you'll see in one of the slides that flows slides by here. It's an interactive exhibit, one of our most recent art and mural projects. All of the wooden shoes were donated by members of the Pella community. It's in the Clockinsville Plaza or Franklin Park. I don't know, I ever know what to call that place, so somebody's gonna have to clue me in. We call it both. But the Klomp and Heart has been a huge hit, unveiled just before Tulip time. Fab Foodie Friday is wrapping up this Friday, so if you've not had a chance to come to Fab Foodie Friday, you've got one more, and the entertainment cannot be beat, because it's somebody you all know and love. I'm not gonna tell you who, but it's not me. Anyway, one more Fab Foodie Friday, all summer long from 5 to 7 in the Clockinsville Plaza, Franklin Park. We've had live music, food trucks. We've had audiences ranging from 30 to about 200, 250. It's been a really wonderful use of a space that wasn't really utilized as much as it is certainly on Friday nights now. We've got 12 sponsors, 6 sponsors to support the 12 projects or the 12 performances. I want to shout out to them, let you know that Corman Real Estate Team, Element Siding and Windows, Pella Car Care, Mollendrop Development Partners, Ameriprise Financial, McCullough Group, and the Cellar Peanut Pub. We couldn't do it without their support. Caldwell Park Ice Arena, when it gets cold in Pella, we have the best ice in Southeast Iowa now. And that's largely due to the fact that we have an ice arena that's a permanent installation temporarily during the winter months. That's been championed by Bob Zylstra on our board. Bob has also been instrumental in setting up an organization called the Pella Ice Sports Association, PISA for short. And already they've signed up more than 50 Pella kids who are going to participate in hockey this coming hockey season. So it's very exciting to see. We're launching phase 2 of the project, which is the purchase of a ice resurfacing machine and also the construction of a shed, a warming shed for that machine and for the skaters out there. That's a $140,000, $150,000 project. We're well on our way to hitting that, and as is our custom, we raise the money for it, we build it, we buy it, and we donate it to the city. So Bob is deep in the throes of raising money for that and putting the pieces together to make that happen. Oktoberfest is coming up, October 1st. Our permit has been submitted to the city. Last year, Oktoberfest blew our socks off. If I knew the name of German shoes, I'd say they blew our German shoes off. We had 400, 500, 600 people there. Really didn't know what to expect. We expect it to be larger this year. We're having 2 bands, one from Chicago, one from Des Moines. They play oompa polka music. Nothing but fun. It's going to run from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. that day. We expect a huge crowd, and again, it's in the Clockinsville, Franklin Park area, and it's going to spill into the Mollendrop if we get the green light or the thumbs up about doing that from the city. And I want to give a big shout out to Chandler and his crew and the whole Community Services Division, because they really went the extra mile for the chiller. They go the extra mile to keep Franklin Park and Clockinsville Plaza looking great. Couldn't do it without them. Holiday Tunnel of Lights, we offer free photos along with Pella Fiber. That's a collaborative project that works out really well for us, and we're hoping to do that again this year. And Dreaming, we have a couple of art and mural projects coming up. My time's up. I'm done. Happy to take questions.
Thanks, Eric. Any questions?
Who came up with the idea of the Klompenhart?
Well, some Dutch people in the Netherlands. Lisa Zylstra championed that for us on our board. But it's reflecting.
Skans in the Netherlands. They have one on their wooden shoe not factory store, and we collaborated with them. Well, first we asked them, would that be something that we could imagine here? And they were excited for us and gave us direction on how to preserve the shoes. And we're lucky that we have Cole Jansen on our Mural and Arts Committee, because we had this idea, but he's the one that really figured out how to make that work on Mrs. Elstra's building. And then the community donated all of these beautiful shoes.
Yep, we didn't have to buy a single shoe.
It's a good photo spot.
Great photo. And it's been busy as the chiller was in the wintertime. You know, there's people there all the time enjoying that.
Anything else, anyone?
Question.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, so the art and mural projects, do we have any kind of an idea or a plan as to how big they're gonna be or where they're gonna be?
We're always dreaming, we always have plans, we need a champion, and we need funding, and we need a location for each one, so we're always on the lookout. And we're talking with some building owners, we get, you know, varying levels of enthusiastic support or not so much. So it's just kind of an ongoing process. We don't have a plan in place that this one's going there, and that one's going there, and that one's going there. It's kind of evolving.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Eric.
Yep.
Thank you to all the Spirit of Pella board and everyone doing some pretty cool things in Pella. And I know I really appreciate it. And I think from a city standpoint, we really appreciate it. Always enjoyed working with Spirit of Pella on projects. So they've been very, very successful and good for our community. So thank you. Okay, moving on to the Indoor Recreation Aquatics Center change order summary. This is something we do once a month. Mike, we'll let you take it over.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item, and for those watching at home on Pella Fiber and in attendance, I'd like to direct your attention to the big board for a brief presentation on this item. As Mayor DeWard stated, once a month we go over the change orders that have been approved by our administrative committee on the recreation center. A little bit of background. When you look at the Pella Recreation Center, it's roughly a 78,000 square foot facility. There's a lot of smaller change orders that are necessary to be approved in a timely fashion to keep the contractor on schedule. I'm happy to report the contractor is currently on schedule. We're looking at completing the building in July of 2027, and we're making plans right now to open the facility subsequently in the fall of 2027 as well. But anyway, as far as our committee, our chairperson is Councilmember John Butler. Beanster and myself also serve on the committee, and the way the committee works is we consider smaller change orders that are in the amount of $20,000 or below. It takes a unanimous approval of the committee to approve a change order. And today, you can see we have authorization up to $300,000 for change orders for the rec center. We have remaining authorization of just under $87,000 for our committee as well. And so the change orders have slowed down on the project, which is good news. Now, as far as the overall change orders, council may recall this, but early when we set the budget for the rec center, we identified roughly $900,000 in the project change order budget. I'm happy to report that we're forecasting a balance, so we have a balance remaining to date of about $472,000 on that as well. So with that, before we open up any questions from the council, I'd like to ask Councilmember Butler if he has any additional comments to add.
No, I don't. Although I do like the credit one. So.
Okay, any questions? All right, thanks, Mike. We'll move on to new Class C retail alcohol license with catering and outdoor service for Strawtown Hospitality Company. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to once again go ahead and refer everyone's attention to the big board on this one item as well. We have a request this evening in Strawtown for a new Class C liquor license. It is important to note that the applicant stated the purpose of the license is for private weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, and some other functions that we have as far as the hotel. Equally important note from a zoning use standpoint, when we're talking about liquor license for hotels, we have granted them in the past for hotels, and we believe this is consistent with what's been approved previously as well. So if council were to approve this license, the license would expire on July 31st of 2027, and we are recommending approval this evening. And it's important also to note that the application has been approved, has been filed rather with the state of Iowa as well. So with that, once again, staff is recommending approval this evening.
All right, can I get a motion for approval?
Support.
Hopkins and Stryland, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 7106, entitled Resolution Approving an Amendment to the Public Purpose Expenditure Policy for Certain Expenditures. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item. As council is aware, earlier we adopted a public purpose expenditure policy for the city of Pella. This evening, what we are asking for is an amendment to that policy, and it's really rather simple. Both of them deal with alcohol purchases by the city. The first exemption that we have is for other departments to purchase alcohol. It's not allowed under the policy, but we routinely purchase alcohol for the Boss Lawn and Golf Course because we operate the golf course for concessions as well. So we're asking for one amendment to allow alcohol at the Boss Lawn and Golf Course to be purchased by city staff. The second item that we have really can be quite summarized for official training purposes for the Pella Police Department, and also compliance checks as well. So those are the two exceptions to the alcohol purchase policy for the city of Pella that we're asking for council to approve this evening. We are recommending approval this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Manstra, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 7107, entitled Resolution Approving Change Order Number 3 and increasing the not-to-exceed amount of the professional service agreement with Terracon Consultants, Inc. for the third-party testing and inspection service for the Indoor Recreation Center project. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As Mayor DeWard stated, we are entertaining this evening with this resolution approval of change order number 3 with Terracon. May be wondering what Terracon is doing for the city of Pella. We're performing inspection services at the Pella Recreation Center. In essence, what they're inspecting is all the concrete pours and the welding that occurs at the Pella Recreation Center. So this is an independent testing firm that we have on it. Now, as far as the total scope of the amendment, you can see we're up to $178,000 that we have under this agreement. Change order number 3 that we are approving this evening, a not to exceed amount. It's an amount of $24,000 if council would proceed with this. Now, just so council is aware, maybe members of the public aren't, how the contractual documents or contract works installed is the city is responsible for employing the independent contractor or the independent testing firm for the concrete firms. However, the contractor is responsible for notifying them every time they pour concrete. And one of the issues that we've had at the rec center is to get the project back on schedule. There have been a number of smaller concrete pours that have taken place at the rec center. Good news is the project's back on track being completed. The bad news is the Terracon has to go out there every time there's a concrete pour and inspect it as well. So they've had additional trips, which is the reasoning for the change order as well. So overall, we're at a not to exceed $178,000. We started off at $87,000, and through the various change orders that we've had for the project, this is where we think we're gonna end up with. And this is just based off the inspection that's occurring out there with Saul right now. Now, with this, we do believe that we have ample contingency funds for the city to handle the overages that we've had on the inspection services, but contractually, we're obligated to have inspection services every time there's a concrete pour at the rec center. So with that, Mr. Mayor, we are recommending approval this evening. Be more than happy to answer any questions the council may have on this item.
All right, can I get a motion for approval?
Support.
Hopkins, Manstra, discussion?
Do you know, Mike, if any loads been rejected?
That I'd have to find out if how many of them have been rejected or have redone.
And what, they just use the slump test, is that the test or
The
testing beyond?
Yeah, that's probably a Bob Beanstra question that we have,
I
the
was just
methodology
curious.
that they go through. But, you know, overall, what the thought is with Terracon and an independent inspection firm on it, it's a significant amount of concrete that's being poured out of the rec center that could cause the city problems with it. So while there is expenditures on the front end, it's an enhanced level of protection for the city, so.
I'm glad it's independent.
So this this original contract of $87,000 was not in the stall contract for the project. This was an additional
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
The cost factor was included in the total cost of the project.
That is correct, Mayor.
And so these change orders are coming out of the contingency, the project contingency?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a separate line item budgeted, and the way the contract document was set, and some of them have been working different ways. The community center, when there is independent testers, it's shaped up, we're gonna be talking about one this evening. The community center, the independent testing firm reports to the contractor on it. The rec center is just the opposite, it reports to the city, but they still have to be out there as well, so. Pros and cons under both arrangements.
All right. We will vote on the motion. All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Dan Stryland.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 7108, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Execution of a Funding Agreement with Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, once again, I'd like to direct everyone's attention to the big board for a brief presentation on this item. And what we're entertaining this evening is a contract with Habitat for Humanity. It is important to note the council did receive this request from Habitat for Humanity on May 19th. The program that we're talking about this evening is the same as what council considered on the 19th as well, and this is for the critical home repair program within Pella on this. And again, what we're looking at is assistance to low and moderate income homeowners for essential home repairs such as roofs, sidings, furnaces, water heaters, doors, and other accessibility improvements. The agreement that we are providing this evening is the funding amount of $20,000. It is important to note that Habitat is required to spend those funds within the City of Pella on projects within Pella as well. So if council were to approve this, we have a one-year agreement for $20,000. We are recommending approval this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, can I get a motion for approval?
So move. Support.
Been Stryland, Hopkins, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Dan Stryland.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 7109, entitled Resolution Approving Amendment for the Project Administration Policy for the Community Center Renovation Project. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, what this resolution would do is that we have an amendment to our administrative committee for Pella Community Center. And similar to the rec center, we talked about our administrative committee, and the purpose of that committee is to consider small change orders. We have the exact same format at the community center with one important deviation from that. And I'll ask Heidi to go back and cover this presentation very shortly. But what our amendment this evening is, currently Councilmember Hopkins is our chairperson on the committee. Spencer Wenzery, who's our community services director, also sits on the committee. And we have, as far as project administration, Mr. Bob Feenstra is on it as well. So it's very similar with smaller change orders, takes unanimous approval of the change orders up to $20,000 in scope. The committee's authorization levels at $100,000. Plus, with the community center, we have one additional item that we need to consider, and that's asbestos removal. So the committee has authority to approve change orders for asbestos, because asbestos on that is mandatory, and there's not a lot of discretion on that. We're going to summarize that here very soon. But when we look at this amendment here, what we're recommending is to replace Councilmember Dave Hopkins with Mayor DeWard on the committee. And the reason for this change is it's our understanding that Councilmember Hopkins' business has been recently selected as a subcontractor on the project. And we have talked to the city attorney on this request this evening, and to avoid the appearance of conflict of interest, we're recommending that Mayor DeWard serve as the chairperson on our committee. So with that, that's the resolution on the floor. Once council takes action on that, I'd be happy to go back and cover the update on the community center as well. So.
Okay, can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Vanstra, Been Stryland, any discussion?
Nice way to get out of committee work.
Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Dan Stryland.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Motion passed. Ordinance number 10, oh, I'm sorry.
No, Mr. Mayor, just
Yeah.
have a brief update on the community center
Sorry.
project. The contractor, it's our understanding, was going to start work on asbestos removal this week for the project as well. There has been one change order on the project we wanted to alert council to, and we also wanted to explain it as well. With the community center, when that project was bid, we had an allowance under the contract of $85,000 for asbestos removal. This was developed by Schemmer and Associates, and so it's just a blanket allowance. And we also had an initial inspection report for asbestos in the community center. The issue that was brought shortly after we let the contract install is that the contract documents didn't specify how asbestos was to be removed on it as well. And so what was recommended is similar to what we do with Terracon. Terracon's out inspecting concrete on the rec center, is to have an independent firm oversee and supervise the asbestos removal on the facility. So Saul recommended that we hire Iowa Environmental Services for those duties as well. With Iowa Environmental Services, they did perform a re-inspection of the community center for asbestos on it. They identified about 30% more asbestos than what was in the original report. So originally, when you look up here and we have the amendment that we're considering this evening, as far as the subcontractor on it, their bid was at $101,000 for asbestos removal. That originally was about $70,000. With the additional identification of asbestos in the facility, we're up over $100,000 now. So with this, what we feel is we've got third-party testing, and we've also got a means and method for asbestos removal from the facility on it, and it's in accordance with state law as well. So we think we've squared that away. That's the good news on the project. That bad news is it's going to cost more than what we had. We had an $85,000 allowance under Saul's contract for asbestos allowance. Total cost, what we believe on asbestos, is going to be about $136,000 based off what we know now. The committee's already approved that change order, which was an additional $51,000, just shy of $51,300 on it as well. Community center, like the rec center, had a sizable contingency amount on it. So with that, once again, there's not a lot of discretion for asbestos removal under state law. It's something that's mandatory, you have to do it. And so that's where we stand with asbestos, and that's been the one change order that's been approved by the committee. So with that, be happy to answer any questions the council may have on the community center.
Yeah, this is for information only. We're not approving anything, but is there any questions about it?
What was the contingency fund on this project again, do you remember? Roughly?
Yeah, the contingency, I think you're at $683,000.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was,
Yeah, so it might be a little bit
I thought it was a lot higher than
Yeah.
that. I think in the numbers, I thought it was over $1 billion. Maybe I'm wrong.
We'll double check that.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, in our final,
Yeah. Brian,
Push
do
was
you
over.
recall? We'll get that. That may be a little bit low, but I think it's safe to say that we have enough to cover the 50-some thousand asbestos. So.
okay, anything else? All right, moving to ordinance number 10091, entitled an ordinance approving the addition of Article 9.05 to the municipal code of the City of Pella, Iowa, authorizing participation in the state of Iowa set-off program. This is the first reading. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item. And this is an ordinance that staff is personally, I'm excited about anyway. And I think our finance department is as well. And we view this as going to help the city with our collection efforts on the variety of city programs that we offer, but specifically for ambulance as well as utility billing. And what this process is we have a special program in the state of Iowa, that's the Iowa Set-Off Program. It's administered by the Iowa Department of Revenue. And in essence, what happens is when people file their tax returns or they win lottery winnings on this or gambling winnings of any sort with this, if you file a claim for debts that are due to the City of Pella on it, that could be withheld from those types of winnings or the income tax returns as well. So we have eligible sources of income for the participants that may owe the city money in the future on this as well. And so this would be the types of items that we'd look at if there was a refund or casino sports wagering winnings, state lottery winnings, state issued vendor payments on it. We may be able to withhold funds and pay back the money that's owed to the City of Pella. So let's go ahead, please, Heidi. Okay, I think that was probably what we have here. Now, as far as the ordinance, if we got into the ordinance, we do have some obligations under the ordinance. We have to make multiple notices and also try to contact the individuals that do owe money, either for ambulance services, utility billing, or other programs sponsored by the City of Pella. We do have a summary of these up here as well. With this, I could attest to it, we undertake a vigorous process to try to collect receivables with the city of Pella. And we view this as a positive, and it's certainly a better option than going to a collection agency to collect funds for the city of Pella as well. So we were really excited and optimistic about this as well, but there is a due diligence process on it where you have to prove that you sent multiple notices out trying to collect the debt. There's also, I'd say, a process that if there's an individual that's claimed they owe money to the city and they want to challenge that, there's a process under this ordinance where they can appeal that decision to the city council. We can schedule a time for council to consider it as well. That's all part of the agency. Now, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, it's our understanding after we pass the ordinance, if council were to pass the ordinance, it takes about an additional 3 months to set up with the state of Iowa. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah, we have to, we submit an application, and then my understanding of cities is that the state and the city will kind of go back and forth on the details of those a little bit before, just to make sure they have things ironed out, so.
Okay.
Okay, and long story short, Mr. Mayor, we're recommending approval this evening, so.
Thank you, Mike. Can I get a motion for approval?
Second.
Hopkins, Banster, any discussion?
What's the definition of multiple notices? Is it
I think as far as, Brian, do you want to address that question?
So that's our current process, so right now we'll send, like on ambulance, they'll send out at least 2 notices before the final 3rd notice, I believe. On utility side, we give at least 2 notices plus door hangers, so that's what it's just meant, multiple. That's, so that first bullet point is our current process of how we already try to work with the customer, multiple times before we turn them over to collections. We would continue to do that, but then we just have to do, one more process. Basically, it's a new notice in there that says, hey, if you don't agree with this amount, or that you owe this, then there's an appeal process, which is what this program requires us to now put in those notices before we can certify it to the state.
I just had a couple questions. Maybe Brian can stay on the mic. I assume a lot of other cities have signed up for this already. I would say that there'd be likely not too many that wouldn't want to.
Right, there's this program, I think it's been around for 10, 15 years. It got reorganized. When I first got here, we were looking at it, and then through the state reorganization, it switched departments that it was under, so then we had to really change the whole process. But yeah, number of cities use it. They've reported success with collecting from it, so.
And then do we have a formal agreement with the collection agency now?
I don't know, we've been, the ones we've been using, I know, it's been here long before I was here.
Okay.
So I don't know what the type of agreement is. I know we've been sending less and less to them just because the rate of return is not good.
And then my final question was the ordinance talks about an informal appeal, and that's a little bit vague, but I think it's okay to keep it that way. I would just maybe recommend it was a finance director and maybe one city council member be in on that rather than bringing every appeal to council. Would be just a thought on that, especially when we use the words informal appeal in the language. That's just my thought.
Yeah, we can go back to our city attorney wrote the ordinance, so we can go back to see if.
You don't have to look at it from my part. I don't mind that, but I just think it's better that there be at least one person from the council involved in whatever appeal process that is there.
Yeah, we can look at that, yeah.
That's all I had.
Okay.
Looks like a great program.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll vote on the motion to approve the ordinance, and this is the first reading, so all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Banstrom.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Motion passed. We do not have the option of waiving. We don't have 5 people here. So I will ask for a motion for approval of abstract of bills number 2205.
Move to approve, the bills.
Support.
Ms. Strylen, Banster, any questions? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Stryland.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Hopkins.
Yes.
Motion passed. Any council member have any other business you'd like to have addressed this evening? Any member of the public have any other business you would like to address council with this evening? If so, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Twenty, 2509 Scultus Strut. Washington Street, you know, we've got a lot of new houses going out there on the west side, just popping up right and left there. And there's also a new hardware store there next to Fairway. And we've got Jersey Mike's and Starbucks there, a new addition there. And Central's talking about adding 1,300 new units one day, all of which is gonna affect Washington Street. Some particular problems on Washington Street are the intersection at G28 and T15. It was a three-way intersection, and now with the new houses, they've added a fourth access to it from the north there. That's a very busy corner, and causes a lot of problems, particularly trying to make left turns from T15 to G28 there, people coming down Washington Street. The street that goes there to West Side Social, it comes out, it goes across the street there to the church. Traffic on Washington Street comes down there pretty quick sometimes. There's stop signs there on that street, but it can be a little difficult there at that intersection too. Exiting from Fairway is a particular problem because Washington Street takes a curve there to the west, and that restricts your visibility when you're trying to come out there. And with the new hardware store there, that's going to be even more difficult. Of course, an entrance from Fairway, and then there's also the street next to Fairway between it and the hardware store. So there's several places there that where they're trying to get on Washington Street, which just adds to the problem. The other problem is that there's no sidewalks. There's sidewalks there to Walmart. After that, there's nothing. So anybody trying to ride a bicycle from all those new houses and apartments to Central Pella is, you know, difficult, let alone walk. So it's difficult. One, so I wonder if there's any plans or even a study about Washington Street. This is just an increasing problem.
You certainly have researched it very well. I appreciate it. And I believe, I don't know if it was the last council meeting or the one before, we approved a contract
That is correct.
with a consulting firm for that specific reason, to analyze all of the traffic on Washington and come up with suggested solutions to all of the things you mentioned. Certainly our issue.
Well, those are probably just a few. There's probably more. But
So yes, we have already entered into a contract to have all of those situations studied and try to find solutions.
do you know what the schedule on that might be?
I forgot, I don't know.
I want to say that the analysis, I believe, is supposed to be completed by the end of September. Is that correct, Wolf? And then we anticipate that that's going to be presented to council in October of this year. So.
Well, we're looking forward to that. There's some
Yeah.
difficult problems that probably won't be easily solved.
Yeah, we also have to, that's the traffic, and they're also going to be looking at pedestrian movement, as Mayor Ward stated, on Washington Street.
The
And
way-
then pedestrian movement that we're looking at, and then on September 15th, we'll also be reviewing Parks Master Plan, and as part of that, there's also a proposal for a West Side Trail that we will believe will help with pedestrian movement as well. So that'll be on September 15th in addition to.
One of the very positive things was the addition of that little additional width of the pavement there at the stoplight by the Quick Star, so they can make right turns to go north of 163. That was a big addition, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, it didn't take very long for that to become, for us to hear a lot about it.
I'm glad you took action on that.
Thanks. Anyone else?
I'm Doug DeVoe, 915 Elm Street. And where are we with the rules and regulations on electric scooters and stuff?
I believe we passed an ordinance, I don't know.
We've got one in?
Yeah, we did. Chief would know more. It was probably a month ago or 6 weeks ago.
It's no longer.
Maybe that,
Yeah.
time flies when
It's
you're
been
having
on the
fun.
books for a while, but Chief McShay, did you address that question?
Yesterday, about 5 o'clock, I came on to the east end of Elm Street. I was going west home. Electric scooter came onto the street, rode the middle of the street, all the way past the country club, clear up to Broadway, was joined. He was in the street, sometimes in the other lane on the south side, was joined by a scooter on the sidewalk and a bicycle on the sidewalk. Once they got to Broadway, they cut all in front of me, no stopping, no turning signals, and went north. I mean, that's just an accident waiting to happen.
Chief, I know he,
Yes, I did call the police.
yeah,
Come in.
I say we did pass an ordinance though to try to regulate some of it a few months ago. So if you have more
They
questions.
are allowed on the sidewalks and streets, obviously they can't operate reckless, so we just encourage anyone who sees that to call us in a timely manner. We can't enforce it if we don't see it or don't find it, so we do the best that we can in finding
And
it.
then I went home, and my guy was right out with the mailbox working, and he said they'd been there too, so.
Yep, just keep calling us, so we'll keep going out and.
Well, I hate to be a tattletale, but.
You know, the beauty of it is we're just mostly not that busy, and so it's fine for us to come out there and take a look and have a chat. Good talking about it.
Anyone else?
Mary Ellen Butler, 406 Franklin Street. I speak tonight to object to a statement made at last city council meeting by an elected city official, stating that the people of Pella do not like Central College. I do not know anyone who does not like Central College. My husband and I participate and appreciate programs at Central College. And we have had the pleasure of hosting several Central College students around our dinner table on Sundays. I wonder what Dominique Sculte and the Baptist Church people would think of having drag queen shows on the campus of Central College. This is the only complaint I have heard concerning Central College. Everyone I have talked to wants to see Central College succeed. On another note, recently at the last meeting, the public library presented a plan for refurbishing the library with new floor plans, new flooring, new lighting, new paint. And they also presented statistics of how wildly successful their programs are. Could I say that perhaps since they are so successful, they should just carry on and they don't need $4 million to refurbish the library? One big improvement in the library would be to rid the shelves of the smut that inhabits the shelves of the library. Books that are aimed at sexualizing children and teens. books that are very descriptive of male sexual organs and what to do with them and where to put them, that are not in line with our Creator's plan. This purging of books would go a long way to cleaning up the library and would not cost $4 million. Lastly, I have a question. Is it permissible for a citizen from the audience to call for the civil code to be enforced during a council meeting? Crickets?
Don't have an answer for you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. For policy and planning, we have a request from Marion County to partner on a resurfacing project involving North Main Street. Mike?
Hi, yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to actually turn this portion of the presentation over to our Public Works Director, Will Nixon. Will, if you could please walk the council through this item.
Surely. Marion County is planning on resurfacing Highway T14 next year. They'll be grinding off about 3 millimeters of asphalt and then repaving it. That will go from the north edge of town out to the Jasper County line. They asked us if we would be interested in including Main Street from Elm Street north to the city limits. It's a standard grind and overlay, which does improve the road surface. It comes at a cost of about $400,000. Unfortunately, this isn't currently in our CIP, our planned capital improvement program, and we're either going to have to adjust that or look into funding by debt. And we already face one adjustment which could be fairly significant, relating to the issue of lead service lines. As I think the council knows, we have to do a lot of work over the next 10 years doing lead service line replacement, and that's going to involve a lot of work on the streets, particularly in the old part of the city. Given that, we're suggesting that we don't go ahead with this. Instead, we pause and we wait. I think ultimately our long-term goal for that stretch of road is to change the profile. It's currently a rural profile. That means it doesn't have sidewalks or trails, and it basically has ditches on each side. Nothing wrong with that, but as the city grows, we might want to look towards changing that to an urban profile where we do have sidewalks, and it is in more in keeping with the rest of the city's streets. So we do have an option. The cost will be about $400,000. Funding it will be challenging. I wouldn't say impossible, but it's not my money, so I like to be careful about that. We want your input and direction on this.
Okay, thanks, Will. Comments from the council?
Would this section of road be where potentially the North Hazel development would come into it in the future? And if so, it seems to make sense that we would wait until we can make it an urban cross-section.
If and when the North Hazel development links up with North Main, it would be on this section, yes.
Yes, I don't really view this as a partnership request. It's more of a courtesy request that would say, hey, we've got our stuff out here already that'll probably save you folks a little money. Do you want to be part of that? And that's not, I appreciate them considering it, but if the condition is in good shape now, there's really no need to do it in my mind, so.
This does go all the way to the Jasper County line?
That's their project, yes. They will go all the way to the Jasper County line.
Are they gonna do that anyway?
They are going to do that anyway, yes.
Because that stretch of road I took this morning, and it definitely doesn't doesn't go like the Autobahn in Germany.
Thankfully, not many of our roads do, when it comes to speed anyway.
Well, I'm talking about, you know, as I was going north of town,
Yes.
not like
it's rough.
heading north of Berlin, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No, it's clearly much needed on the county side.
Yeah, and they are going to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
They're not dependent on.
Because that road, I took it with my Buick, which rides pretty nice, and let me tell you, that road does not ride very nice.
Yeah, I think that's gonna get done.
That's
like-
gonna
like
get done regardless.
Calvin said, the county's just saying, hey, while we're doing it, would you wanna do
Do
this?
you
But
wanna do this also?
I think Will gave us all the reasons to not do it.
Uh-huh.
I went out there and I drove it before I came to the meeting tonight,
Mhm.
and that road's good, our part of it is in pretty good
Yeah,
shape.
it's when.
Plus, I totally agree that if we're gonna redo that road, we'd wanna redo it to a street, not a blacktop highway.
Mhm.
Anybody disagree with that?
It's a tough place to build a sidewalk.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's- there'd be challenges, you
Yeah,
bet.
Some work to be done.
You know.
But as, you know, Fountain Hills is expanding and there'll be more growth out there, for long term, I think certainly would, if we were gonna redo it, we'd wanna figure it out and make it a street, a real street, so.
And what's gonna happen with that development? What is it, Timber Ridge? You know?
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear, thanks but no thanks. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Master Hopkins, all in favor, please say yes, opposed no. Mandy, please call the roll.
DeAnstruck?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yep.
Van Strylen?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Motion passed, we are adjourned.